Yes! Get in there, my son. What's going on, everybody? How are you all doing? Good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us for today's afternoon show. We're on a little bit earlier than usual today because there is good news. There is news that we're going to discuss, obviously, that's been coming out throughout the day. You know me, I haven't been up that long today, guys. I operate on a different body clock to most. But we are on here reasonably early for me, guys. It's just coming up to 2 p.m. in the afternoon. Good afternoon to everybody. Thank you very much for waiting patiently for us to get going, you bunch of legends. Thank you for joining us for the show, peeps. Let's see who is in here. Thanks, everyone, for waiting for us to get going. We got United 90, Marken, Legacy of Outlaws, Jimmy Watkins getting in from Australia, Prakash Kumar, Cass. Get in there, my son. Kiprotich Emmanuel, Prakash Kumar. Yes, indeed, Mikhail Kramer. Get in there, my son. United, Sergei Grealish, Don Gungshi, let's be having you. Langy86 getting in here raw. Hello to you, legends. Yes, indeed, Duke of Rodtown, Vincent Bullock, Andrew Goncalves, Crazy Joe Davola, what's going on? Aidan McDonnell, Kerry E, good to see you as well. Yes, indeed, you know it, lad. Slurp King, what's going on, bro? Johnny M, Catalan, Dark Knight, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Mr. Leo G, Must Play, Hamza Patel, let's be having you, Zigar, Chris Barker, and everybody, Danny B. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I appreciate you all. Do us a favour at the start of this stream, though, and smash that like button on it. Give us a massive thumbs up. Early stream today, daytime stream, not the usual time. So do us a favour and hit that like button if you haven't done so. Twat the likes. Share it around on social media as well. I've pinned the tweet to the top of the live chat there. Please do give us a cheeky little retweet. You know, it makes sense. And of course, if you are new to this stream, new to this channel, make sure you hit the old subscribe button because we're on here daily giving you the latest United news. So let's get stuck in. Man United news on the horizon today. By the way, guys, in case you're wondering why I'm always looking down here, it's because I've got this Twitter thing set up where I look at the different numbers. You know, I've got 20 different things to talk about, guys, right? So I press the number and it pops up on the thing down there. That's why I'm always looking like this. You might be thinking, what's this guy's issue? He's got some sort of tick or something. No, it's because I'm trying to remember what the hell I've written and what number it's on. So there you go, guys. This doesn't just magically happen. But anyway, thank you very much for everyone who's in here. Smash the like. We're going to get into the latest information now. Matthew Smith, thank you so much, Matthew Smith, for getting in here raw with a super chat. He says the only double that West Ham will ever do. Get in there, my son. I appreciate that. Yes, indeed, you know it. Unless it's you know, yeah, absolutely, you're right. Thank you so much, Matthew Smith. Get in there. I love that. Right, let's get into the news then, guys. Come on. United could be on the verge of getting rid of some of the shite at our football club, which has been stinking up the gaff for a significant amount of time, a la Slabby Maguire and Scotty McShotbag McTominay. Get in there, my son. It looks likely that maybe both of these guys could be going. So it's understood at this moment that West Ham United are interested in a double swoop for these guys potentially. Now, that would be absolutely monumental, wouldn't it, to be able to get rid of both of these guys? And certainly one of them would be a bonus just to get rid of. Either or. If you could manage to get rid of one of these guys, that would be a tremendous turn up for the books. But both of them, it would feel like all our Christmases have come at once. Particularly if you could get, I don't know, 55, 60 million pounds maybe for both of these guys together. I mean, what a tremendous piece of business for Manchester United that would be. And for West Ham, like we've talked about, for West Ham, they've just got 105 million from Declan Rice. If they were to spend just over half of that on two good internationals in Scott McTominay and Harry Maguire, it would probably improve their starting lineup as well from right now. Of course it would. It would be a good acquisition for them. I mean, I saw Stuart Pearce's quotes earlier on saying that he feels that Maguire would be great for most of these teams, such as West Ham, and, you know, brings leadership qualities and all this stuff. You what, Stuart, lad? I know why they call him Psycho now. But no, you know, I get it. He is a good player, especially for mid-table teams. Not for Manchester United, but for West Ham, he would be a good player for them. So let's discuss it. So it's reported anyway, far and wide, that West Ham United are closing in on Slabo Maguire and potentially Scott McTominay also. So MEN here reporting that West Ham are reportedly closing in on Manchester United duo Harry Maguire and Scott McTominay. I'm just going to kick this off with the live chat very quickly and just ask you, How much do you think Manchester United should be looking to receive for both of these guys in a double deal? Say we are actually on the verge of doing a double deal. How much do you think we should be receiving? Get your thoughts and opinions in there. So we're getting rid of two birds with one stone here, essentially, which means surely we've got to give West Ham a little bit of a deal. I'm thinking £55 million sterling would be spot on, because it's essentially valuing Scott McTominay at 30 and valuing Harry Maguire at 25. So let's just see your thoughts. Slurp King says 60 million. Yeah, if we could get that, that'd be amazing. 50 million, I'd let them go for 50, Langy, for both of them at the same time. If we can get rid of both of them at the same time, goodness me, I'd let them go for 50 as well. 70 says RJ. 50 to 60 says the Don. 65 says United. 40 says Jonathan Gallagher. Just get lost is what he's saying to these guys. Danny B says 50, 55, 65, 65, 60, 65. Says Kerry, 60, 50 to 60. 55 says United 90, 25 each. Yeah, 25 for McTominay, Harry for 35. Oh, don't know, he's on big cash. Take 50 million if we have to. Great comment here, United 90, really. So to get rid of both of them, it's not just as simple as, oh, we're selling one player here. If they're actually prepared to go and bid for both of these guys, surely United should be happy to do a deal to get rid of both of them. I think we'll probably end up getting slightly more than that for them if we can sell both of them. But 50 mil, I would take it. I'll be totally honest with you, I would take it all day long for both of these guys. It's basically valuing them both at 25 mil, which is probably about right if we're being honest. And to give us that benefit of getting rid of both of them at the same time, you can't really ask for more than that. So smash a 1 in the chat if you would get rid of both of these guys and take 50 million for them if we have to, like United 90 says. What are you saying? For me, no brainer. If that's the most we can get for both of these guys, just get them gone. Sell them. That's half of a Harry Kane right there. Or it's all of a Sofyan Amrabat plus a little bit left over for another centre-back maybe to come in. So, you know, lots of ones coming in the live chat there. United says no, he wants a bit more. Fair play. Well, yeah, I think we're onto something here, guys. 50 mil as a minimum, but if we can get a little bit more, 55 or 60, of course we should absolutely try and do that. So, great potential for both of these guys to go. Let's cover the rest of the news and what's being said today, which is a fine day. We're going to call this Shite Out Day. We've got a gifted membership very quickly from Crazy Joe Davola. Thank you so much, mate. City scumbag getting in here raw, though. You got to love that. Thank you so much, man. Get in there. He's sending some of that Sheikh Mansour money this way. Thank you, Crazy Joe Davola, for gifting out a membership, lad. And it's gone to Dab-O. Dabo, mate, welcome into the membership, courtesy of Crazy Joe Davola. He has gifted you the membership there. That's fucking awesome. Guys, welcome in Dabo and say thank you with a love heart to Crazy Joe Davola. I appreciate that, even though you're a City financial fair play cheating scumbag. Thank you so much, my son. I appreciate that, Crazy Joe Davola. Get in there. Oh, Langy86 is coming here hot with 5 gifted memberships right off the bat there, my son. Thank you so much there, Langy, mate. Great to see you today, lad. Thank you so much for your generosity, dude. Look at this. Phil Jones attack. Courtesy of Langy86. Thank you so much for gifting out the memberships there, Langy, lad. Oh, yes. 5 new members. It's gone to Arsenal Stand. Oh, no. Arsenal Stand? You what? Wilton Pereira. Silver Wave. Transient Ghost and Edward Reed have all been made members by Langy. Langy86, you are indeed a massive legend, sir. Thank you so much for doing that, lad. 5 new members, courtesy of Langy. Thank you so much to Langy, everyone. Get a massive love heart in there for Langy86 as well. And some Phil Jones emojis. Why not, eh? Dude, he's going out there raw, guys. Look at this. Thank you very much, my friend. That's very nice of you. What a start to the show. What a start to the show. So, what we're going to do now, we're going to continue with the news, but rain down love hearts for those legends. Guys, we're only 20 subscribers, as you can see, away from the next milestone, which is 72.8k subscribers. So take a second to subscribe if you are new to this channel for the first time today. Get yourself involved. That'd be amazing. Also, make sure you smash that like button. Help us get to 100 likes just like that. Every little like helps the stream, helps boost us up on YouTube. The algorithm on YouTube is a cruel mistress. Feed that algorithm, my friends. Feed that algorithm by smashing that like button. It's free and it takes a second. Thank you so much. Right then, let's get stuck into the rest of the news. So, West Ham close to coming in for a cheeky little offer for Scott McTominay and Harry Maguire. This report says that Scott McTominay and Harry Maguire to West Ham's closer than ever. Apparently it is on the verge of being made official, but obviously we have to wait and see. This is just a lot of different hearsay, but we've got loads of outlets reporting this today, which I'll cover throughout this next sort of opening half an hour of this show. But West Ham are closer than ever to signing Harry Maguire and Scott McTominay. The process to sign them has begun, with the pair undergoing long-distance medicals. Their records have been sent between the clubs in the last 24 hours. Now, obviously you have to take this with a pinch of salt. The process to sign them has begun with the pair undergoing long-distance medicals. You what? Surely it's not that advanced at this stage, but that is a report that's doing the rounds on social media there. You do have to take it with a pinch of salt. Long-distance medicals, so they're conducting the medicals, what, at United? It sounds a little bit far-fetched, that, if you ask me, but let's hope that there's some basis to this. If they've swapped records, if they've gone into the details of, you know, these players and you know, the potential, and even just opened up the dialogue between the two clubs, that's obviously a very good indicator of what's to come, that West Ham are interested in him. I think personally, long-distance medicals and things like that sound like a bit of BS to me, though. But this is what's being reported various different places, so just thought I'd pop it up on the screen for you legends to see. Also, get this. So, you know that previously Manchester United had rejected a bid from West Ham for £20 million. Well, apparently, MUFC sources said, it's not just United who thinks West Ham's current offer is lowball. Harry Maguire sees other players moving for far bigger sums, without half of his experience in pedigree. And apparently, Slabby Maguire is somewhat insulted by West Ham's £20 million offer for him. You what? Slabby Maguire? He's got some ego, this guy, if that's true. I mean, who knows if this is actually true, but this is what's going around, various different reports saying that Harry Maguire feels like he's worth more money than £20 million, this guy. I tell you what, I wouldn't give you a used bog brush for the guy. I don't know where he's getting, you know, where his ego's coming into it. I know he's got a big head, but crikey. Egotistical? I think so. Goodness, we've heard some of his Billy Big Bollocks quotes in the past, such as, oh, all of the managers that I've managed me seem to think I'm a great player and they select me in their team, so I don't know why people think I'm shy, because I'm actually the dog's bollocks. That's me ad-libbing, by the way. He didn't actually say it like that. But along those lines. Now, what's the matter with this guy? He thinks that he's worth, I don't know, 100 million. He thinks his name's Harry Maldini. You know what I mean? He thinks he's actually a legit good player, this guy. He's all right. But my humble opinion is he's not worth much over that. I think he is worth about £20 million, £25 million, maybe 30 if you really can maybe manage to bend over a team for paying that sort of money for him. But yeah, 25 million tops for this guy. But apparently he is kind of insulted by the initial offer for West Ham because he sees players from different teams going for a lot more money. But what he has to remember is, he's on the back of a gash season. He's had his captaincy removed from him for a reason. He's now the 7th choice centre-back at Manchester United. Yes, he's an English homegrown international and he does play for the national side. But his money is extortionate. The amount of money that he's paid every single week for his contract. £200,000+ a week. That's what makes the value go down. I will happily admit this. And you can think I'm mental, but I will happily admit that if Harry Maguire was on 90 grand a week, he would be a 35, nay, even a £40 million player. Honestly, not £80 million that Manchester United paid for him, and he is 30 now, so you've got to factor that in. But I do think he'd be a 35 to £40 million player if he was on 90 grand a week. But he's not on 90 grand a week. He is on £200,000 a week, which makes him a lot less value. That's just the reality. So I don't think he can even be insulted by that. He's on too much cash at United. He's literally on £10 million a year. That's crazy money for Slabbo. So that's the reason why he's not worth very much more than £20 million. Heck of a lot of cash that he's being paid, and therefore just no value in it for any of these teams that are going to potentially go and bid for him. So 20 to 25 million tops, I think, for Harry. Maybe 30 million if you're really lucky. But to think that maybe he's looking at these deals and Man United rejecting 20 mil and being insulted just fills me with a sense of glee, to be honest. Yeah, wow, he's stealing a living, says they call me Mr. Williams. He literally is stealing a living. It's 9.6 million a year that he's on. Call it 10 mil. £10 million a year. Just imagine that, guys. Imagine earning £10 million at whatever job you do. And you don't even have to be good at the job. Could you imagine that? It's actually unbelievable, isn't it? So, obviously, decent player. That's why we signed him. He had a good season before we got him, but he hasn't really lived up to that price tag. Imagine getting paid 200 grand a week for being shit at your job. Thank you, Langy says, hit the like button for Pig. Thank you very much. Do smash that like if you just joined in the show, and subscribe and get yourself in there. We're only 19 people away from the next milestone now. Jonathan Gallagher says Harry Maguire needs his head to be tested. Do you know what? He does need his head tested, but not for the reasons you think. He needs his head tested by medical science to try and establish, how can somebody have such a thick cranium? You know what I mean? Is there a sense of gigantism taking place there with Harry Maguire? I don't know. Maybe. Do you remember that game back in the day? Some of you older people remember this. I used to play a game called Theme Hospital back in the late 90s on my PC, where you had to build a hospital. Theme Hospital, right? And there occasionally would be a moment where somebody would come into the clinic and you'd have to treat them. And they'd come in with a disease. And the disease was called bloaty head disease. So maybe he needs to have his head tested just to see if he's got bloaty head disease. Or maybe some other issue with his cranium there, lad. But not for his ego. Anyway, thank you, Jonathan Gallagher. I appreciate you for that. That's a good one. Bit harsh. But you know what? We like to be harsh around here sometimes with shit players on 200 grand a week, guys. It's a disgrace that he's paid this much money. Could you just imagine Roy Keane being in the same side as Harry Maguire? Harry Maguire wouldn't make it to the end of the week. Goodness me. Roy Keane wouldn't be afraid to give him a slap. Roy Keane in Japan had a bloody 10-minute fist fight with Peter Schmeichel, for Pete's sake. He'd be going and slapping Slabo Maguire for his absolutely awful football. No doubt. It would be a massacre. But anyway, so he's insulted by that. David Moyes, on the other hand, he wants a bit of Harry Maguire in his life. David Moyes, the Ginger Goblin extraordinaire. David Moyes has told West Ham owners to do everything to get Maguire to the club. Apparently he really, really does rate Slabo Maguire. And I can understand it. Slabby Maguire for the right team with his passing ability, his big cranium, the slab, the ability to head the ball away, his nuisance, his leadership qualities. His leadership qualities, which apparently are evident. Leadership qualities maybe for a shit side, but not for Manchester United when you actually need proper leaders and proper ballers. But apparently he does have leadership qualities. This is what Psycho Stuart Pearce was saying earlier on. You know, that he's got leadership qualities. So, he wants him, guys. David Moyes wants him. Apparently he is desperate to bring him in, and he really wants to bring him to the football club. So here's another report that says that David Moyes is desperate to sign Harry Maguire. However, Man United are holding out for closer to £35 million and believe more clubs will come forward towards the end of the window. So this might be true, that other teams are interested in signing him. Because, like I say, he is a good player for the right team. For a mid-table team or even a lower Premier League team, he'd be a really good signing. But you do have to factor in those wages, obviously. But there are apparently some rivals to West Ham who could maybe go and sign Maguire. So let's just cover that a moment. We heard yesterday that Wolverhampton Wanderers were maybe interested in him. I can't imagine Slabby Maguire would be overly keen on that move, particularly when, you know, a team like West Ham, who are a bigger stature team than Wolves and are playing in, London rather than Wolverhampton. Oh, that's right, Slabby Maguire, mate. You fancy coming down Wolverhampton town centre and having a cotto, mate? Oh, absolutely, Boston. You know, I can't imagine Maguire's going to want to go and play there, to be honest, just because Wolves is it's not really a very glamorous football club at all, is it? Whereas West Ham is much more glamorous, even though it's still just pretty, mundane compared to Manchester United. They are playing in European competition. They are obviously having Conference League. They just won the Conference League and now they're in the Europa League, so they've got European football. Wolverhampton Wanderers is probably not the move for him. But Everton, on the other hand, Everton is a big club. Everton's a massive club. Now, they obviously have had a really bad year or two, but they're a big club. They have kind of big ambitions. They spend big money over the last however many years. Quite a lot of money for a club like Everton has been spent. So They are understandably wanting him. Plus, they got Sean Dyche there. You know, Sean Dyche, he likes sweet bags of worms for breakfast. And he's the sort of guy that's crazy enough to go out there and maybe add Slabby Maguire to his defence because he knows that he's going to get like a proper good low block defender in there. Somebody to come in there and be the next Tarkowski. Somebody who's going to, like, you know, be a complete low block melter for him, just like a big slab at the back. You know, that kind of guy to come in and just sit there and, you know, just be a complete statue. That's the sort of thing that Sean Dyche wants. He really, really wants somebody in there who's capable of just clearing the ball away and playing the ball out from the back, which Maguire can do. So Everton seems like quite a reasonable place to go as well. So here's a report that says that Everton have leapfrogged Tottenham and West Ham. Tottenham in the race to sign Harry Maguire. Apparently Tottenham have some interest in Harry Maguire also, which I find mental. But apparently Tottenham also interest. To be fair, Tottenham is actually genuinely, I think, probably the best place for him to go. Because they are the perennial bottle jobs, the absolute perennial bottle merchants. So, you know, that's the case really. It's obviously down to a few different clubs at the moment. It looks like it's between West Ham, perhaps even, West Ham, perhaps even Tottenham, Everton, maybe even Wolverhampton Wanderers are what's being the case. So, at this moment in time, there could be a bidding war for Slabby Maguire. Could you imagine a reality where multiple clubs are interested in him? That's crazy, isn't it? Absolutely crazy. People are telling me Fab tweet in the live chat. Let's just go and have a look at this. What are you referring to? Oh, get in there, my son. So Fab, 5 minutes ago, tweeted, Sofyan Amrabat not called up for the next Fiorentina game. Manchester United expected to open formal talks for Amrabat soon, as Fred and Donny van der Beek are close to leaving the football club. Amrabat wants Manchester United. This has never changed. Mate, he's milking that one, isn't he? That's basically exactly the same as what he said yesterday. But that's cool. We'll get into that. I've got some Sofyan Amrabat information to talk about a bit later. We'll add that to that. But that's cool, guys. Thanks for letting me know. Great stuff. And we've got the Kane stuff to talk about a bit later on in the show as well. But let me cover all this Maguire stuff and McTominay stuff at the start of the show. Then we'll get into the other stuff. But yeah, that's just the same news that we knew. We're expecting soon to start an opening discussion for a bid with Fiorentina for Sofyan Amrabat. That's great news though, guys. Get in. Right then, so different teams interested in Slabby Maguire. It's understood that Everton may be favourites at this moment in time, though. So we know West Ham are interested, but they've maybe cheaped out a little bit with a 20 million bid at the start. Everton are now favourites to sign Man United defender Harry Maguire. Source Football Insider. Take it with a pinch of salt, but you know, as I say, for the right team, he would be a great player. And actually, the team that I think fits him the best would be a Sean Dyche team, would be an Everton team right now. Everton's a big club with a very big history, and you know, they're the team that's featured in the most top flight seasons, I believe, in English football, this team. They're right up there. So they're obviously a very, very good professional side, whereas, you know, some of these other teams we're mentioning, no guarantees there. Sean Dyche would probably be perfect manager for Harry Maguire. Let's just ask the live chat, guys. I'm not asking you where you think he's going to end up or where you think he should go, but I'm just going to ask you a question now. What team do you think is the best fit for Harry Maguire? Do you think it is West Ham and David Moyes, the Ginger Goblin? I mean, that's a good fit for him. But what about Everton or a different team? Let us know your thoughts. What's the best fit for Harry Maguire going forward? I feel like a low block guff defensive side. Maybe Newcastle United. Nothing wrong with them. Obviously a good team. But in terms of stylistically, I'm talking about. Maybe what's the best fit? West Ham says Langy. Best fit's Tranmere Rovers, says Michael Kramer. West Ham says Dean. West Ham says Batman Night Fan. A flat back 9 says Red Olsen. Cardiff City. West Ham. Spurs. West Ham. West Ham. Nice one. Send them to West Ham. They have European football. Yeah, that also has to be factored into a best fit. Yeah, West Ham. You know, if he plays for West Ham as well, Gareth Southgate's just going to continue to absolutely love him and play him for England also, which is something to be said for that. He's 100% a Spurs player. 100% agree with you, Robin Hood. He is. Isn't he, lad? He is. 100% Robin Hood. Absolutely right, dude. He is literally a Spurs bottle job melter. West Ham, Everton, very bad. Well, yeah, they are, but that's why he's a good fit for them. You know, they're going to be a low block Sean Dyche team, and they're very bad. That's why he is a good fit for Everton. Anybody, so long as it isn't us, you're on the fence to Simon Hammers or anywhere else. Yes, indeed. Mikey says the best team for Harry would be Time Team after they dig up his Easter Island head from the back of the Sainsbury's car park in 1,000 years. Get in there, my son. Oh, Tony Robinson still knocking around hot, probably. I have a cunning plan, sire. No manager can make that slabby prick a decent footballer, says Primot. Kettering Town, says Gungshi. Ipswich Town. We got 104 likes, says Stephanie Griffith. You know what, guys? We've got 304 legends in here today. 304 legends and 104 likes. I'm fucking leaving. I'm leaving, guys. I'm going. That means one out of every 3 people has smashed a like on this video. I'm leaving, guys. Bye. See you later on. You know what? I don't know what I'm doing. What's the point of this shit? You guys aren't even smashing the like button on this stream. What's the matter with you guys? That's it. We're done. We're done here, guys. See you later. I'm just joking around, guys. Do us a favour and smash that like button on it. It's free. Don't be shy. Give us a cheeky little like on the video. You know it makes sense. Drop a thumbs up on it, guys. It won't hurt you. Oh, it won't hurt you. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're new, guys, of course. Get yourself involved. We're on here every single day with the latest United news. You know it makes sense. Right. Okay, so, where were we? It seems like West Ham won't have many, problems convincing Manchester United to sell him to us, though, because they're not a rival to us, are they? This is what the understanding is that Man United do not see West Ham as a direct rival and are happy to sell Harry Maguire to them. Scott McTominay's also going to lose his place and may finally sever his links with Manchester United. Jurassic Park! Get in there, my friends. That's absolutely amazing if it's true. And yeah, West Ham are not a rival to Manchester United, so it makes the likeliness of us selling him to them increased. Perhaps we would be less likely for him to go to obviously a top 6 or a top 7 side. Not that they would be interested in Maguire anyway, because they're guff. So I very much doubt that one of those teams would come in for him. But Spurs, I know they finished 8th or whatever, but Spurs apparently have some interest in Harry Maguire. And like I say, he's a perfect fit for Spurs because he's an ultimate bottle job and they're the biggest bottle side going. So he probably maybe could be wanted by Spurs. Perhaps we could do a Harry for Harry exchange deal, but very unlikely. We'll get into the latest Harry Kane stuff a bit later on in the show. There is plenty to talk about there as well. But yeah, at this moment, West Ham not causing any problems for us to sell them to them because they're not realistically rivals for us. There would be no problems there. So no reluctance from United to sell him to David Moyes. Get in there, my son. So it's very likely that we could do this. MEN are reporting that United want £30 million for Harry Maguire as well. So we've seen various different figures bandied around for Harry Maguire's personal sort of feelings on how much he's worth. Like he thinks he's worth more than 20 by some accounts earlier on we were talking about. I think he's worth about 25 million, but he's £30 million tops. If United could get £30 million for Harry Maguire, based on the last 2 seasons and what's happened and his wages, I think that would be basically a 9 out of 10 bit of transfer dealings from Man United. It's already a great piece of business for us just to get rid of him for 20 or 25 million, because why do you want people on the books who are 7th choice backups on big money? Just to cash in and get rid and get him off our wages is a brilliant piece of business. But to receive £30 million, that would really be a tremendous piece of business from Manchester United. So I hope that we can maybe get that amount of money for him. Apparently that's what we want. It's quite unlikely though, as I say, because of his wages, but 30 would be an absolute brilliant piece of transfer dealings for Manchester United. Let's hope that comes into fruition very, very soon. And other reports now to suggest that we want both of them. So here's a report that says West Ham United remains seriously interested in Maguire and McTominay. However, if a deal for the pair was as close as being reported, Manchester United would have started negotiating with Fiorentina for Amrabat. Understands there is still a huge blockade at West Ham United and Moyes and director of football. See, I mean, there's definitely something to that, but I'm not so sure. I think it seems like from what Fab has said a few minutes ago and from what we've heard the last couple of days, does seem that we are trying to sell one of the midfielders or 2 of the midfielders, and then we'll be going for Amrabat. So it looks like the money generated from a midfield sale, which should happen next, is what's going to finance the Sofyan Amrabat transfer. And plus, we don't want to have too many players in that midfield if we can't sell Donny or Fred or McTominay or these guys. So I'm not so sure about that. And obviously the McTominay deal hasn't materialised materialised yet, neither's the Maguire deal. The most advanced deals, by all accounts, are currently for Fred and Donny van der Beek. So I think it's those two genuinely that are going to finance Sofyan Amrabat. And plus they're midfielders, which makes sense. If you're going to replace and get a new midfielder, makes sense to clear out the guff in midfield first before you go and sign another one. So just to not have too many numbers on the books in that area if you can't sell them for whatever reason. So I think that's what's going on with Sofyan Amrabat right now, is that we could go in and obviously bid for him right now and then sell players, but we want to just guarantee that we've got rid of some of the players in midfield, i.e. Donny, Fred, a couple of these guys, maybe McTominay as well by the sounds of things, before we go in and sign Sofyan Amrabat. So yes, we can finance the Sofyan Amrabat deal already essentially, but we are waiting to guarantee we've got rid of at least a midfielder or two before we are prepared to go and do that. But just on Sofyan Amrabat, let's get on to Sofyan Amrabat for a few minutes, guys, because he is expected to be, you know, United player by the end of the transfer window. And at this moment, we are trying to raise some funds and clear some players out, Donny, Fred, and these are the two likely players that are going. But at the moment, it does look like things are starting to hot up there. So there's some reports here coming out. Alfredo Padula over in Italy reporting that Sofyan Amrabat time soon. There have been secret contacts between Fiorentina and Man United through intermediaries. Again, probably bullshit. Take it with a pinch of salt. But you know, I'm sure there's been some conversations that have taken place, judging by all the information that we've got in front of us about this deal. And like I just said, Fabrizio Romano tweeted a couple of minutes ago with an update and said that because the Fred and Donny situation is progressing with a potential player sale, it's expected that we'll open up talks with Fiorentina very, very soon in order to officially go in for a bid for Sofyan Amrabat. So that's absolutely tremendous, guys. Obviously, it's looking very likely that towards the end of the week, as we've been reporting for the last few days, we will be able to get some sort of deal in place for Sofyan Amrabat, and hopefully around 35 million euros, which is essentially the same price as either Scott McTominay or Slabby Maguire should be going for. So that will completely finance that deal, or a combination of Donny and Fred. Donny and Fred finance the whole Sofyan Amrabat deal as well, and gets rid of a couple of midfielders off of our books. Get in there, my son. Really looking forward to us being able to say we've got an offer in for Sofyan Amrabat, and I think it's coming very, very soon. So just statistically speaking, I want to bring these stats up on the screen for a moment to talk about Sofyan Amrabat for a moment, what sort of player he is. He's a player that's going to advance a play for us. He's a combative midfielder that can win the ball back, get his head up, ping a pass, play the nice short passes, but also he's got that long range of passing in his locker as well, where he can just play lots of direct passes and get you in behind and get you down the wings and that kind of thing. Very good playmaker. And here's some statistics from Statman Dave that says that Sofyan Amrabat's passing snaps per 90 minutes, I'm thinking this is last season, and this is per 90 minutes, 89% passing accuracy, 60 passes completed, 7.93 progressive passes, and 7.12 final third passes, keeping things moving forward. So he is somebody that's going to get the play going forward, to transition into attack, to quickly, on a sixpence, turn that ball from defending or winning the ball back into attacking. So he is a great playmaker, somebody that's going to get the ball forward for you, play nice forward passes, and successfully more often than not as well. So statistically speaking, he's exactly what we need, because we've got a couple of hot potato merchants in there at the moment, Scott McTominay and Fred and these guys, and they're not technically good enough passers of the ball. Scott McTominay's passing stats much worse than this in every regard. So you've got to say, if we could get rid of Scott McTominay to West Ham for 30 million, or a double deal with West Ham with Maguire for 55 million even, and replace him with Sofyan Amrabat, that's a tremendous piece of business, and it's tremendous for Manchester United squad to be able to improve technically and be able to just make us a better team. So I'm really looking forward to that happening. Obviously, we've got to wait and see, but as we just said, let me get that up on the screen actually, folks. So there is a new tweet from Fabrizio Romano a couple of minutes ago, which is definitely worth talking about. And there's also Kane updates as well, which we'll get into in a few moments as well, before we get back into Scott McTominay and Maguire business, which hopefully there's going to be some more info coming out. But as I say, basically what he said here is that Sofyan Amrabat has not been called up for the next Fiorentina game. Manchester United are expecting to open formal talks for Amrabat very, very soon. And that's basically dependent on maybe players like Fred and Donny van der Beek doing one and being sold out of the football club. So I'll just pop this up on the screen here, guys, just so you can see what's happening. But yes, bear with me one moment. As always, if you're just getting in here, guys, get your thoughts and opinions in. Smash the like, smash the subscribe, have your say. We always dip in and out of the live chat and see what you legends are saying throughout the shows. So we appreciate the community vibe around here, and we have a Q&A at the end, so stick around for that. You can give us a retweet as well if you want to help spread the word of the show. But look, this is what Fabs just tweeted out a few minutes ago that says that Sofyan Amrabat not called up for the next Fiorentina game. Manchester United expected to open formal talks for Amrabat soon, as Fred and Donny van der Beek are close to leaving the club. Amrabat wants Manchester United. This has never changed. So I think that's big. That's a big tweet there from Fab. It's an indicator of what's to come. So we've heard that Donny van der Beek is very much interested in leaving now because, well, he wants regular football. He's not really getting that at Manchester United, nor will he ever. He's been put in the shop window in pre-season by Ten Hag, and he's shone. He's looked good in that pre-season, which has garnered the interest of a couple of different clubs, particularly Real Sociedad are interested in him. Real Sociedad are interested in him, and they are prepared to pay somewhere in the region of 20 million for the guy. So if we can get that for Donny, that's most of Sofyan Amrabat deal right there. And equally, Fred is wanted by several football clubs. Fulham have an interest in Fred, and a couple of different Saudi Arabia League teams as well want Fred. And we don't know exactly how much money we can get from Fred or generate, but it's expected to be 10 to 15 million pounds, which seems cheap. 15 million pounds minimum, in my opinion, for Fred. But if you can get 15 or 12, I guess, just to cash in, and he's on reasonable wages. Let's face it, selling Donny van der Beek and selling Fred finances the Sofyan Amrabat deal in its entirety. So it'd be good business from United. It's not just good business from a point of getting a transfer fee and getting rid of them, but literally Fred's wages are quite high. Couple that with Donny van der Beek's wages, and that completely pays Sofyan Amrabat's weekly wage. So we'll be able to finance the transfer and finance Sofyan Amrabat's wages by selling Fred and Donny. Smash a 1 in the live chat if you think we should do that. It's kind of a no-brainer, isn't it? And then we've got the possibility of selling Maguire and McTominay for perhaps a combined 55 or 60 million pounds, which would mean that we could actually perhaps go on and finance a deal for somebody else, which we'll talk about right now, but it is very, very unlikely, of course, but I want to just mention it. Still, Harry Kane has no dialogue from Manchester United to Tottenham in regards to the player signing them. Obviously, it's expected that he'll be signing for Bayern Munich at some point soon because they're the team, the only team that's actually having this proper negotiation with Tottenham at this moment in time. But, you know, it's known earlier on. We can see here a report that suggests that Harry Kane deadline day, sources close to the negotiations expect that the final decision will be today for the Kane deal, described as in or out with FC Bayern. All parties are waiting for Daniel Levy to communicate his decision today, as first called by Jason Burt of The Telegraph. And then, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, Fab also put another update out there, which I'll just get up on the screen, which basically says that, well, let me just read it out again just to make sure I got it right. But you know, obviously, it's Bayern Munich who are leading the charge on Harry Kane. Manchester United haven't even had a single discussion with Tottenham about it. But Bayern, this is what Fab said 18 minutes ago, Bayern want and expect Tottenham to decide today about Harry Kane deal. As reported earlier, the position is clear on Bayern's side. Make it or break it after a new improved bid. Bayern already has the green light from Harry Kane, but deal only dependent on Daniel Levy now. So by all accounts, it seems like Harry Kane is wanting to leave Spurs to go to Bayern Munich. You can't blame him. Bundesliga beckons. Guaranteed to win trophies, Champions League side, all the rest of it. Very good German, the best German side. So it makes a heck of a lot of sense for him to go there. But that's on the back of Manchester United not having any interest to go and get him at this moment. It's still really unlikely and very, 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 very unlikely that Manchester United would go in and try even to get him. But I'm still holding out a little bit of hope that we might try, particularly with the news that Maguire and McTominay could be wanted by West Ham in a double swoop. If that's the case, and we've got literally enough wages off of the books to cover Harry Kane's wages by getting rid of Maguire and McTominay, and then maybe the prospect of selling one or two more players, there's still other players that could go, i.e. Henderson, perhaps you could get rid of Martial, there's a few more players we could get rid of. With the Adidas money that's coming in, with potential new owners that would be coming in hopefully soon, you just never know. Maybe there's a tiny possibility that United would just go in for Harry Kane at the last minute. Unlikely, I know, guys, because I think at the moment you've got to praise Manchester United for not getting involved in this whole sucker negotiation with Spurs this summer. We've seen it before last couple of years ago. It's been an absolute debacle when we've been linked to a player all summer long, and it's painful. It really is. For instance, De Jong, Frankie De Jong. Goodness me, who remembers that summer where we were trying to pursue Frankie De Jong and we've had that negotiation with Barcelona and they've accepted the bid, and it was a back and forth. It actually made Manchester United look like a bunch of mugs, in all fairness, in the public eye. We were being taken for a ride there by Barcelona, and every little thing that we thought we had agreed, they moved the goalposts. It was an absolute shambles. I think Manchester United have done the right thing if we are going in for Kane, which we probably aren't. But if we are, we've done the right thing by not even opening up into any dialogue or any conversation with them yet. Let's swoop in if we are going to go for Kane. Let's swoop in last minute, beat Bayern's bid, which is understood to be 95 million euros at this moment in time, maybe with a few add-ons. But if you do the maths there, that's around about 85 million pounds. Now, surely Man United can beat that when we're going to be getting potentially 50 or even 60 million pounds for Maguire and McTominay. Surely we could beat that. Surely we could pay 95 million pounds or 100 million pounds or 105 million pounds like Arsenal pay for Declan Rice. Surely we could be able to garner that much money together from the guff that we've got in our squad, have a clear out and consolidate it into a Harry Kane deal. Surely we could do that. It's unlikely, but let's ask the live chat, guys. Yes or no? Do you think Manchester United could do that and maybe still go in for Harry Kane before the end of the window? Let me know. I think yes. I think we've got to try. We've got to try and give it our absolute best shot, because we've got players there that are worth good money at the club that we can sell, and they're on big money, and we could just go and get Harry Kane if we really wanted to. We've got to have the ambition to do it. I don't think we will. Let's just clarify that. I don't think we will. We've just signed Rasmus Hojlund. But I think we've got to try. Why can't we? Why haven't we gone in for Harry Kane? Well, maybe we're just letting Bayern get the negotiations out of the way and then we'll swoop in. But from United's perspective, this could turn us into proper title challengers. It's somebody who scored 30 goals last season for Spurs. If we could get that amount of goals within United's starting 11 and have Rasmus Hojlund there for all competitions and to grow into one of the future's best players, crikey, we would have some firepower at the top of the pitch. So it's an absolute no-brainer for me. If I was in charge of Manchester United, which obviously I'm not, but if I was, that's who I'd be breaking my back towards the end of the transfer window to sign. I'd make it happen by getting rid of Maguire, McTominay, Martial, Fred, Donny, Bailly, Henderson. Get rid of all this shite and consolidate it into Harry Kane. It would be the best bit of transfer dealing for a long time. Now, I very much doubt it's going to happen. It's expected that he's close to agreeing a deal there with Bayern München. So Fab reported a few minutes ago that he's keen to go. And like I say, it's unlikely. Most people in the live chat say no. No, says Simon. No, says must play. Yes, says Chris. No, says Mark. No, says United. No, says Harry, Mikhail. Let's get Harry Kane, says Lamonge. Yes, says Batman. No. It is very unlikely. Lamonge says yes. No, says Duke of Rodtown. We have to get him, says Fire Up. I think so too. Now, ask yourself this. If this was Manchester United 15 years ago, and I know we're not the same side, and I know it's a different time, and the Glazer shithouses are here, and they're potentially not selling, or maybe they are selling, maybe they're not selling, who knows, in, out, shake it all about. But if this was United 15 years ago, we'd have already bought the guy. If this was us when Alex Ferguson was here, we would have already got the guy. We were able to do that back then. We were able to go and get these big players in when we needed them. And if Fergie had highlighted a player that he knew could fire us to the title, to the Premier League title, if he knew there was a player that he could get that would win us the Premier League title, we would back him and have the ambition to go and do it. So why don't we do that with Ten Hag now? Because I know that we would be way more likely to have a successful season and potentially win the Premier League, or at least challenge properly for the Premier League, if we had Harry Kane. So if this was back in the day and we did actually have Sir Alex still here, he'd probably already be a Manchester United player now. Mark Coughlin says, what, like Andrew Cole, like Andy Cole, like Robin Van Persie, whatever the case may be. There was many occasions. Dimitar Berbatov, Spurs player. Got him in the end, didn't we? Got him in the end. There's a lot of players that Manchester United acquired over that period of time where they're like the best players or some of the best players in the league. Robin Van Persie's a great example. And you know that if you go and get that player, he can potentially fire you to the title. So That's what we have to try and do. I'm not saying United will be successful. Maybe Spurs are going to be too difficult to deal with, which is why United, correctly so, haven't got involved with any negotiations all summer long for Harry Kane, because it's just a headache. Who wants to get bent over from Spurs and then have this long drawn-out negotiation where they're asking for 150 million from you because you're a Premier League rival? You don't want to get involved with it. But when it comes down to it, Daniel Levy's a businessman. He knows that if they can generate more cash from Manchester United and reinvest that into the side, it's better for Tottenham Hotspur. Yes, 2 games a season, it's going to affect them. It's not going to affect them any other games this season, even if Kane's smashing goals in against other teams, because United are going to finish higher than Spurs anyway. So it's not going to affect them then. It would only affect them 2 games a year. And 2 games a year, I think, for an extra £15 million or £20 million than what Bayern are prepared to pay, is worth it for them to sell them to a Premier League team. So I honestly think United could go and get him. People will say, oh, Daniel Levy won't sell him to Man United. That's rubbish. Daniel Levy would sell him to Man United. It's just that they're going to want a little bit more cash for Man United to get him instead of Bayern, because, yeah, out of sight, out of mind. If he goes to Germany, he's no longer a problem for Spurs. They've got 90 million or whatever the amount may be, and then he's not ever going to affect them again. So from that point of view, yes, they will sell him to Bayern Munich for a bit less than they would sell him to United. But they would sell him to United if Man United are prepared to go and break what Bayern Munich are paying for him and beat them. So if we were to pay £105 million and they're only prepared to pay 90 million, I believe we would get him. I believe they would go, you know what, we're going to lose this guy in a year's time for free. We can sell him abroad for 90, or we can get 105 million. That's another good player, or an extra bit of a better player that we can go and get if we just sell him to a rival in the Premier League. So I think they will. I think they'd be open to it. I don't think they're stupid. Money talks, bullshit walks, and an extra 15 million quid could be enough to get the job done. So I personally am expecting us to try before the end of the window, but I know it's wishful thinking. Mark N says Alex Ferguson would not sign Kane. Really, Mark N? I think you probably should go and put yourself in the naughty corner, mate, for the stupidest comment of the day, mate. What are you talking about? Alex Ferguson would not sign Kane. If Alex Ferguson was around today and Manchester United was like it was back in the day, we'd already have signed Harry Kane, mate. What are you talking about? Why would he not sign Harry Kane? He wouldn't be interested in the best striker in the league, no? Are you mental? Are you mental, lad? Are you off your tits, lad? Of course he would. Of course he would sign him. Goodness me. He would be trying his absolute utmost to get that guy in because he knows he's going to get goals. So Alex Ferguson would get Harry Kane 100%, mate. He definitely would. What are you talking about? Given the opportunity, money would be no object. Of course he would. Of course he would. That's what I'm saying. I hope that United show ambition like we had back in the day with Sir Alex Ferguson, where we would have gone and got Kane. Back then, we absolutely would have gone and got him. Mark N says Kane has proven he can't win trophies. Oh my God, Mark. He plays for Tottenham. Hot shit. You say this every time, and I say to you every time, lad, it's totally redundant. It makes no difference. He's playing for fucking shitty Spurs. Of course he's not going to win any trophies, mate. Neither's Son Heung-min, but we'd have him as well because he's a quality player. You know what I mean? Just because he plays for a shit team who's unable to win trophies, goodness me, it doesn't mean anything. They've got to take the step up to the next level, don't they, to win a trophy? He's playing for shithouse Spurs, mate. He's never going to win anything there. My God. Oh, yeah. So, Hojlund hasn't won anything. Exactly. It's just, you can't say that. There's many players who don't win anything, and then they get that big move. Robin van Persie never won the Premier League. Comes to United, wins the Premier League. Could that not be the same with Harry Kane? Of course it could. Of course it bloody well could be. Oh. CZ Bam says, outrageous, saying Fergie wouldn't sign someone if they hadn't already won anything. Precisely. I've got to breathe, Boomhauer. It triggers me. It triggers me when people say that we shouldn't be interested in Kane because he hasn't won a trophy. It's not his fault. He's literally carried Spurs on his back for the best part of a decade and been a tremendous player. But he's never won any trophies. That's true. Because Spurs are fundamentally too shit. It's not because of Harry Kane's fault. There is zero responsibility from Harry Kane why he's not got a trophy at Spurs. Zero. He should have trophies. Unfortunately, he's got to carry Spurs. And that is just impossible for anybody. You agree, says Robin Hood. Jim Watkins, well, he says, got a question for you, Pig. How did Alex Ferguson under the Glazers manage to get the players he did and others like Ollie struggled? Well, unfortunately, the clue's in the name, really. He is Sir Alex Ferguson. And when Sir Alex Ferguson was at the club, Manchester United were tremendously successful. He was something special. He was just the best manager in history. So when he came a knocking, players listened. Robin van Persie knew, for instance, to use him as an example, knew that if he went to Manchester United, he would more than likely win the Premier League. That's why he came. It's not just to go and play for Fergie or to play for a great Manchester United side. He wanted that Premier League winners medal. And he knew that if he went to Manchester United, he would get that. So that's the difference. Man United was so successful when Sir Alex Ferguson was here, regardless or, in spite of the Glazers, that it was so much a draw for all of these players to go. We were the biggest club in England, of course, at the time. We were the most successful club in England. Yeah, there were other teams that were winning things still towards the end, like Arsenal, obviously, when Wenger first came in, had some success, and Chelsea later under Jose Mourinho had some success, and then latterly City. But obviously, Sir Alex Ferguson was the daddy. So whenever Sir Alex Ferguson wanted a player, people sat up and listened. And also, because he had that mercurial ability as a manager, the Glazers backed him. The Glazers gave him who he wanted. If Sir Alex Ferguson said, I want RVP, or I want Berbatov, or I want this player, they went and got him. And Sir Alex Ferguson made it a success. So it's in spite of the Glazer shithouses, but Fergie was just in a different league as a manager. And Man United were actually the number one side in England for a long time. So that's why we were able to get the players. Pig doesn't want to read my messages. Francois, I don't know if you realise this. We've got 347 people watching this stream, Francois, you legend. I do want to read your messages, but guess what? I haven't seen your message. This is the first message I've seen, bud. It ain't all about you, Francois Coquelin, yeah? I said 350 people in here, mate. Francois Cox says, Pig, we need to buy a centre-back if we sell Harry. We can't play with Evans. Right, okay, probably because I'm talking about Harry Kane right now, mate. You're derailing me on a different subject. But no, Francois, yeah, I think you're right. There's interest in maybe Todibo, or, if we could sell Harry Maguire and go and sign another centre-back. I agree with you, bud. I do agree. It would be nice if we could sell Maguire. Brilliant. That'd be amazing. Anyway, guys, you listen, this is how it works. I ramble on for an hour. I get in the chat and I read some comments out that I look at and I happen to see while in between my ramblings. And then at the end of the channel and at the end of the stream, we have a big Q&A where we read everyone's comments out. That's the format, peeps. Get used to it. Stick around to the end of the show and then you'll be able to have your say, and I will read everybody's comments out for the last 10 minutes of the show. That's what we do. We have a Q&A at the end that's specifically designed to get everybody's comments read out. That's how it rolls. Anyway, right. But sorry for not reading your comments out, guys. I can't read everyone's. It's difficult. It's difficult. Guys, we're 5 likes away from 200 likes. Let's everybody have a like spike. Take a second to drop a thumbs up. Give us 5 more likes. Help us get to 200 likes. Who's going to be number 200? Every little like helps the stream, so do smash that like button on it if you haven't done. Also, make sure you subscribe, guys, if you're new. If you're here for the first time, get yourself involved. Then you'll be able to comment in the live chat. Get yourself involved for the community debate. We're only 14 subscribers away from the next milestone of 72,800 subscribers. So please do us a massive favour if you're new to the channel. Make sure you smash that subscribe on the video. It's red. It says subscribe. It's free to subscribe. Get yourself subscribed and get yourself involved. Nice one. We smashed the 200 mark. That's brilliant. Thank you, everyone, for hitting that thumbs up as well. That's immense. 210 likes. That's fantastic. Fantastic. Okay, then. So let me just cover the rest of the news, guys. So Fabrizio, it's understood that Spurs are also looking at a new player from Rosario over in Argentina. So this also adds a bit more fuel to the flame in regards to the Kane deal being decided very soon. So this guy, Veliz, is apparently, I mean, this is obviously in Spanish, right? So I can't really read it, but it basically translates to Spurs are interested in this guy. Okay, so that's who they're looking at, this player Veliz, who plays for Rosario, and as a potential forward replacement, could be available for as little as 15 million. So they are making some sort of acquisitions here, it seems, as a potential replacement for Harry Kane, or at least an extra player at the top of the pitch who can do a job. I still think Spurs will probably sign another forward player as well as this guy, because this guy would be coming in for a cheap amount of cash. It's expected about 15 mil, and they'll probably want to try and get as much firepower up there as possible to try and replace that gaping hole that they're going to have in the team when Harry Kane goes. So, yeah, but it is expected for them to be doing some business here for an Argentinian striker, which just adds fuel to the flame that they are getting ready to part ways with Harry Kane. Just finally as well, the other bit of transfer news we've got, which isn't very major, but I'll just mention it. The other bit of transfer news that's to do with Manchester United today that's come out is that Nottingham Forest have submitted an official bid for Matt Turner. Understand the proposal has been made for a permanent transfer. Talks advancing with Arsenal. Crucial step in the goalkeeper's domino at Arsenal. Keep negotiating with Brentford for David Raya. Deal getting closer. So they want David Raya, but before they do, they want to get rid of this guy, Matt Turner. And unfortunately, guys, it looks like Nottingham Forest are now turning their attentions to Matt Turner as their permanent transfer signing instead of Dean Henderson at Manchester United, which is absolutely gash, isn't it? It's a disgrace. Very annoyed about that. But the main reason is Henderson wants big money because he's on big money at Manchester United. It's our fault yet again that we can't sell these players because of the amount of money that we pay them. It's a joke. So because of that, it looks like anyway at this moment, it looks like Nottingham Forest maybe won't be going in for Dean Henderson. It's understood a couple of days ago there was a report that came out that said it will either be Matt Turner or it will be Dean Henderson that Nottingham Forest pursue. And right now it seems like it's Matt Turner. So it may not materialise and they may come back in for Dean Henderson, I suppose. But it is obviously unlikely now maybe that we can get rid of Henderson. Jonathan says Dean Henderson needs to go. Couldn't agree more with you. Couldn't agree more. But trying to get rid of him is difficult right now based on his wages. It's difficult. It's difficult. It's very, very difficult. So, okay, anyway, so we'll have to wait and see if we can maybe get rid of him. Hopefully we can, maybe in some capacity, but might have to be a loan deal. I mean, surely there's one of these newly promoted clubs like Luton or somebody. Surely they've got to be interested in a loan deal for the guy. It's not ideal, but he's on quite big money. We've got to try and, get that money off of the books. Maybe we won't be able to move him on as a permanent transfer because we probably want 15 million for the guy. He's in his mid to late 20s. England player, has good potential still as a goalkeeper, is a good player, but fundamentally not worth the cash really as a 15 or 20 million pound transfer when you've got to pay him 130,000 pounds a week as well, which is what he's on at United. So because of that, he's almost priced out the move again, but potentially for a loan deal, maybe it would be worth one of these newly promoted sides or a lesser team to go and bid a couple of million or offer a couple of million up front for a season-long loan move and then pay his wages. It'd probably be worth that just for them to have a good standard goalkeeper. So we'll see. I'm not ruling out a move for Dean Henderson at this moment, but it does look like right now Nottingham Forest have turned their attentions to a different goalkeeper. So, okay. Interesting stuff. Right, guys, I'm going to cover all the Maguire and McTominay stuff very quickly. We've been rambling on for a little while here, haven't we? But I'm going to cover all the Maguire and McTominay stuff that we've discussed in this video very quickly, have a rundown of what we've discussed. Then we're going to get into the live chat and have a proper Q&A. And we will obviously shout out all the retweeters that have retweeted the show. The tweet is pinned to the top of the chat. In the live chat there, go and click on that link. It will take you to my Twitter, Flying Pig United. Click that link, give us a retweet. We'll shout you all out in a few minutes' time, all those legends that have helped spread the word of the show. And smash the like. Okay, so very quickly, let me cover what we've discussed in this video. So we've discussed Kane, we've discussed Amrabat. We'll get on and just do a quick rundown of that in a few minutes. But before we do, let's talk Maguire and McTominay again, for anyone who missed the start of the show. So Maguire and McTominay reportedly are wanted there by, that's right, David Moyes and West Ham United. And apparently they're closing in on a double transfer potentially for both of these guys, which would just be insane, wouldn't it? Imagine if we could sell both of them at the same time. That'd be tremendous. There's reports that it's close. I mean, this is a very speculative report, but I just get all the different reports up, so you can see what's going on. Scott McTominay and Harry Maguire to West Ham's closer than ever. That's what that report says. This report also says that they're even conducting long-distance medicals, which is absolute bollocks in my opinion. But this is a report that's come out. It's via United report from a reluctant Miko, which says that West Ham are closer than ever to sign Harry Maguire and Scott McTominay. The process to sign them has begun, with the pair undergoing long-distance medicals. Their records have been sent between the clubs in the last 24 hours. Sounds like bullshit, but thought I'd mention it just in case there is some validity to it, but it's probably bullshit. Maguire thinks he's worth more than £20 million as well, which is insane. So here's a report that says that a Man United source has said that it's not just United who think that West Ham's current offer is lowball, i.e. the £20 million that United rejected. Apparently Harry Maguire sees the other players moving for far bigger sums without half his experience and pedigree. So apparently he's a big bollocks space hopper testicles and thinks that he's a really, really great player or something. Slabby Dini. But hey, look, we don't know if that's necessarily true, but apparently he's a little bit insulted that he's not being talked about as a transfer for more money because of his ego and the fact that he thinks he's immense. So he previously moved for £80 million between Leicester and United. What more does he want? He's not worth more than £25 million in my opinion. 30 million absolute maximum tops. And that's largely because of his transfer wages, and also the fact that he's absolutely crap. Those are the biggest reasons why he's not worth more than 25 million to me. 35 tops, says CZ Bam. Yeah, exactly. 30 says Dale. Exactly, guys. He's not worth very much cash, really, is he? You know, because of his wages and because of how poor he's been over the last couple of years. He is worth something. He does have a good bit of quality to him. He is a decent low block defender. He's got great passing. And also, he's a homegrown player who plays for the England national side. He's literally one of the first names on the team sheet for England. No joke. He always plays for England. Him and Stones are clearly ahead of all the other England centre-backs we've really got as options in the team. Fact, there's nobody really comes close at this moment. Yeah, people might go, oh, Tamori and Cody, and there's a couple of others, but it's slim pickings for English centre-backs. Dan Burn, and it's very slim pickings for English centre-backs. So Maguire and Stones are stalwarts in that England side, so that's worth something. Just the fact that he's one of the best English centre-backs is worth something. So he's definitely got some value to him anyway. But understood that he's kind of insulted with the amount of money that's being talked about. As I say, though, take this with a pinch of salt. Who really knows what Maguire's thinking? He might be quite unhappy about leaving Manchester United. Let's just talk about that for a second. So we know that Maguire obviously loves playing for Manchester United because it's a huge club. We have Champions League football now this season as well. He gets paid very handsomely at Manchester United. Previously, he was the captain of Manchester United. You think about what that means for an individual player. Imagine being captain of Manchester United. What pride that must fill you with. Obviously, that's been taken away from him now, but still, he's a Manchester United player and he values himself as one. An £80 million move to the mighty Red Devils, playing in the Champions League, challenging for titles. It actually fundamentally comes down to, we can talk about him going to West Ham all day, but it fundamentally comes down to, what does Harry Maguire want? He's got a contract at United, which we will have to honour if he decides to stay. So it actually comes down to whether or not Maguire's prepared to leave. And I'm not so sure if he will want to go. We'll have to wait and see what materialises there. But it does look like the ball's in his court there. So he can go to West Ham. He can play for a good team in the Europa League, mid-table side. And he can get paid probably the same amount of money. And he can guarantee his England spot for the upcoming European Championships by playing regular football for West Ham. So those are big positives. But who's to say that he actually wants to go? Let's ask the chat. Do you think Maguire wants to stay or is prepared to go? Do you think he'll stay or go from his own feelings? Because he might just outright say, I'm not fucking leaving, and decide to stay because it's Manchester United and we got Champions League and he doesn't have to do all that much. He can literally be a bit part player for United, potentially win things, trophies, accolades, even though he's not playing a big role in the team. So it's down to him. He's the one that fundamentally has to decide what's going on and where he's going to go. So I'm not even convinced that he'll be prepared to leave Man United because it's a big club. He's not going, says Dell. You think he'll stay, says Madhouse. Goodness me, he would be public enemy number 2 behind the Glazer shithouses if he refuses to go, if there's proper offers on the table. He's staying, says Pinhead. He loves his wage in United. Yep, happy to melt it up on the bench. Useless tosser, says Paul D. He won't stay, the fans will boo him constantly. Yeah, you think he truly believes he's good enough to stay. He wants to stay, he needs to go. That's it, he might actually think he's good enough to stay and fight his way back into the side. He might be deluded enough. Oh, I missed your milestone. Sorry, Andy Young. Let's go have a look at this, bud. Thank you very much, Andy, for being a member of this channel, lad. Let's go and find that. Andy Young's been a member for 13 months. Thank you so much, Andy. Get a 13 in the live chat. He comments and he says, even with sold players, our budget is gone. I have to disagree with you, Andy Young. I still think if we sold many players that are still left in the squad, Maguire, McTominay, Fred, Donny van der Beek, Martial, Bailly, Henderson, we could still have a bit of action left in the transfer window. So I do disagree, but I know we've already spent 170 million and the Glazer shithouses are just that, shithouses. So it's not guaranteed we spend a lot of money after what we've done. But I still think if we sell more players, we will be able to go out there and spend a little bit more. Maguire worth 30, says Dale. Yeah, fair enough. Maybe somewhere in that region. But, a lot of people think he's not going. Force him out, says Fire Up. Unfortunately, we can't really force him out. I mean, Ten Hag can have that conversation with him and say, hey, listen, bud, you're surplus to requirements. We want you to go to West Ham. You're not going to play for me. You're just going to be a backup T-boy. Go and get the bibs. Go and get the cones out for training, lad. That's all you're doing. Piss off, basically. Put him in the old janitor's office. Not let him get involved in things. You know, he can do that to him. But Maguire might just rough it for a year or two because he's a Man United player and he's getting 200 grand a week. He doesn't have to go anywhere. But if he does that, he is probably going to lose his place for England unless Gareth Southgate's so stupid to just play a player who doesn't even play, which he might do, to be fair, because he loves Maguire. But, you know, every possibility that he stays based on the fact that he might want to fight his way into the squad again, and also the fact that he's a bit of an ego and playing for Manchester United does mean something. It's obviously a very, very great club. Which is exceptional, and it's much bigger than West Ham, so he's got chances of being involved in Champions League setups, Premier League title challenges, that sort of stuff, which is a very big draw. Look at what happened with Phil Jones. There's many a player at United who's lingered on at the club, collecting their paycheck just because it's a big club and they come to training and they play very occasionally. It could be another situation like that. Tasha Beauty says, I don't want McTominay to leave. Fair enough. I mean, what do you reckon, guys? Keep or sell Scott McTominay? So, just on Scott McTominay as well. So, we are talking about Maguire here, but Maguire and McTominay reportedly wanted by West Ham in a double swoop. So, Scott McTominay as well. Keep or sell? What do you reckon? Keep, says Random Lewis. Sell, says Pinhead. Sell, says Mike James. Keep, says Dell. Sell, says Jonathan. Sell, says Massey. Keep, sell, keep. So it's reasonably split. Sell, sell, sell. I mean, if we can get good money for the guy, then I would sell him. He's been kind of proven to be average at best, like you say, Pinhead there. Average at best over the last few years. Good squad player, I suppose. Decent player to come in and be a backup. But if you can get 30 million for a squad player who's just going to be a backup really for us this season and go and sign Sofyan Amrabat, who's going to improve things technically for United's midfield, it makes a heck of a lot of sense to do so. Let's just be hypothetical and say that maybe we could generate £55 million for Maguire and McTominay in a double sale to West Ham. I mean, that's very valuable cash that we can then use to go and sign quality players like Sofyan Amrabat, plus have a lot left over to go and get somebody else, another centre-back maybe, Todibo or somebody. There's every possibility United do more business if we sell both of those players. And they are just proven to be backup surplus to requirement players now. Maguire has gone right down the pecking order. There's Johnny Evans ahead of him. There's Luke Shaw ahead of him. Eric Bailly's still ahead of him technically while he's still at the football club, if you ask me. There's Luke Shaw who can play at centre-back. Lindelof. Martinez, Varane, these guys are all ahead of Slabby Maguire, which puts him right down the pecking order. And then McTominay, once we sign Sofyan Amrabat, McTominay's going to be right down the pecking order. We signed Mason Mount, we've got Christian Eriksen, we've got Bruno Fernandes, Casemiro, Sofyan Amrabat, even Kobbie Mainoo, you could argue, would all be ahead of Scott McTominay. So what is there left to do for Scotty? He's going to be a backup at best. So from both of their point of views, I think they should want to go. And as I mentioned, they're both wanted by West Ham at this moment. So what a great opportunity for both of them to go and play for a good team where they can get good game time. It depends what they want. They can both be a backup player for Manchester United, get their money and be a part of a bigger football club, but only a small part. Or they can go and be a big part of a good football club, which I think they should both go and do, to be fair. I definitely think they should both go and do that because then it's better for their careers. They're going to be playing week to week. They're going to be having a big hand in what West Ham are doing over there. They've still got Europa League football this season. It would be excellent. He's the Scottish Tony Kroos, says Massey81. Yeah, if Tony Kroos was absolutely poo-doo magoo, mate. You know what I mean? Tony Kroos is actually quality. Sell both, says PCAS. I'd get rid of both of them as well, lad. 100%. So, yeah, but West Ham, interested in both of them. We'll see if that materializes just through the rest of the little updates we were talking about at the start of the show for anybody who's got in here. So Everton are also understandably interested in Maguire, and some may even say that they're favourites at this moment in time to go and sign him, but I think West Ham probably more the likely destination because they've actually had a bid for him, and it's known that David Moyes really does want Harry Maguire. So apparently David Moyes generally does want to bring him in and thinks that he would add a lot to their side. And I agree with him. I think he would be a good addition to West Ham's team. Makes a heck of a lot of sense. And because West Ham are not seen as any sort of a rival to Manchester United, it's expected that United would be prepared to do business with West Ham. So Man United do not see West Ham as a direct rival and are happy to sell Harry Maguire to them. Scott McTominay is also going to lose his place and may finally sever his links with Manchester United. So hopefully these players do come around to the possibility that they won't play at United and can get a good opportunity there to play football at West Ham, and both of them go. And Moyes is quite desperate, understandably, for a particular player, McTominay. And also, Maguire would be a great addition. But because of what's happened with Declan Rice then selling into Arsenal, they do have a big hole in that midfield which they need to try and plug. There's been links with various players, Palhinha, Sofyan Amrabat. Unlikely that they'll be able to do that business though, whereas Scott McTominay is much more obtainable. Plus there's that Ginger Goblin Scottish connection, which means something. So maybe Scott McTominay would be more prepared to go and play for David Moyes. So this is a report that says that David Moyes is desperate to sign Harry Maguire. However, Man United are holding out for closer to £35 million and believes that more clubs will come forward towards the end of the window. But also Scott McTominay is very much wanted by them due to the fact that Declan Rice is gone, and he's seen as somebody that can be like a direct replacement for Declan Rice. So because of that, quite likely that they both go to West Ham, and that's great business for West Ham. Bank 105 million for Declan Rice, spend 55 million on Scott McTominay and Harry Maguire, and then you've got a spare 50 million to play with, or you just bank it. So it is actually pretty great bit of business from West Ham's point of view to get both Maguire and McTominay after selling Rice for £105 million. It's a great move for them. Probably no deal because Moyes getting fired, says Peter Scotland. West Ham are going down, says Madhouse. Yep, we are linked with Todibo as well. So if Maguire goes, perhaps we could see us go and sign Jean-Claire Todibo as well. That's a very good point. Nothing wrong with selling gash players to rivals. Yeah, exactly. If they're gash, sell them to Liverpool. I know, Alan Carter, it's an early one from me, but I had to jump on and talk about the latest news. Thank you, Shane Nichols. Appreciate you, lad. Get in there. Yes, well, if you are new, guys, this is a good channel. Say it myself, not trying to be a bitty big bollocks Harry Maguire egotistical maniac or anything, but it's a great channel. Largely it's a great channel, not because of me or anything, but because of the community we've got going here. It's a tremendous community channel, guys. We've got a lot of legends in here who come in here daily and get the thoughts in. Get involved, be a part of it by smashing the subscribe button if you happen to be new. Nice one. Boys won't get fired. No, I don't think so either, DJ Superfly. You're talking about somebody who's just won a Europa League conference. Sorry, Europa Conference League, and they are in the Europa League. Larry, thank you for subscribing there, Larry. You know it makes sense. 8 people away now from the next milestone. Just 8 subscribers away. Subscribe. Cheers for that, Larry lad. Get in there, you beauty. Right then, Neil Duffin, how you doing? He says a £5 for Maguire, 50 million for McSauce. Hey, look, you buy one, you get one free. I said you buy one, you get one free. For every Scotty McTominay you buy, you get a Harry Maguire absolutely free. Yeah, safe style transfers, you know what I'm saying? Oh, get in there. Yeah, exactly. Buy one, get one free on these shithouses. Right, okay. So that's the latest on Maguire and McTominay. United understandably want about 30 million for Maguire and potentially a similar amount for McTominay. So you're talking about a combined 60 million pounds is what United are after, minimum. But I don't think we'll quite get that. If West Ham are prepared to buy both of these players, I think we'll let them go for a little bit less. Probably 55 million pounds for both of them would be an appropriate amount of money to spend for these guys, for West Ham, and they bank 50 million from that Rice deal, and we get both of them off of our books for 55 million pounds. Sounds legit. 25 million for Maguire, 30 million for McTominay, because McTominay's a bit younger and his wages are less, so his value's more. But both of them for 55 million, get in there, my son. That is an absolute tremendous bit of business. If we can do it, we've got to hope that we can. MUFC Realist TV, what's going on? Welcome in the live chat there. Mick Blue, get in there, you legend. He says, what's happening? Are we frying bacon yet? Do you know what? There's a little bit of bacon frying, I think, guys. Finally, it looks like we're cooking with fire at the moment. It does seem like it. We are finally doing some stuff, aren't we? So we're buying players. It's understood, you've seen the tweet earlier from Fab, which says that we're just trying to get rid of Donny van der Beek and Fred, and then we're going in for Sofyan Amrabat. So we've got Rasmus Hojlund, we're working on Sofyan Amrabat, and it looks like we're able to sell players as well beyond that. Hopefully Maguire and McTominay would be great to get rid of both at the same time in this transfer window. So yeah, I think we're finally sizzling away, We're sizzling away. Thank you, Jim Watkins. Appreciate you, brother. Okay, so, yes, it's likely. Just ask the chat for a bit of fun. Yes or no. Do you think that we will get rid of both McTominay and Maguire in this transfer window? Yes or no? I'm gonna be optimistic in this summer transfer window and say yes, because they're both backup shite bags who aren't going to play for us very much, especially with new players coming in. So I'm going to say yes, we are going to get rid of both of them, but it's wishful thinking because it depends on what the players want. Do they find the lure of playing for Manchester United too big, and will they just sit here and collect their wages? They don't have to go anywhere. It's down to the players. But also, I think that, you know, there's a good potential for them to go and want to play for. There's a good potential to go and want to play, of course, for West Ham as well. It's a good club, and they'll play regular football, and it'll be good for them and their international careers also. Berber, thank you for getting in, you legend. How are you doing today? He says, "Hola, pig. Hola, Senor Berber. Hope you're good today, mate." No, says Danny. No, says Gabe. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, says Jim Watkins. Yes, says Jim. The Mog says no. No, says Duncan. No, says Yellow Stu. It's very split in the chat. So maybe it is wishful thinking to think that perhaps, you know, we can actually sell both of them in this window. But what actually is good for them to do for their careers? Surely they want to go somewhere and play regularly for a good team. West Ham's a good mid-table side. It's about the right fit for them. So I hope it happens. Plus, I can see it being realistic from West Ham's side of things. With the money that they've just got from Declan Rice, they can easily justify spending half of that on two big additions to their team. And they would be two big additions, wouldn't they? If you could actually get both of those guys for West Ham. Those are fantastic signings for West Ham. So it makes sense. Guys. So Moyes is reasonably desperate. West Ham want Maguire and McTominay. That's the latest. Let's just cover the Sofyan Amrabat stuff very quickly. Then we'll get into the live chat for a Q&A. And the Kane stuff will breeze over very quickly as well, just as an update for anybody who's missed the start of the show. Sofyan Amrabat, peeps. It's understood that soon Manchester United will be going in for a bid. I mean, Alfredo Padula over in Italy has reported that Man United have already had secret dialogues. Sounds kind of like a little bit of airy-fairy bullshit, though. But, you know, it's expected that very soon we'll actually start with some proper proceedings. We've seen this tweet from Fabrizio Romano earlier. Let me just make that a bit large again. This is just during the show. It says that Sofyan Amrabat not called up for the next Fiorentina game. Manchester United are expected to open formal talks for Amrabat soon, as Fred and Donny van der Beek are close to leaving the club. Amrabat wants Manchester United. This has never changed. So we know that United are very interested in Amrabat due to Ten Hag identifying him as a great player for us. And Ten Hag's had that previous relationship with him at FC Utrecht. And Amrabat has spoken very glowingly about Ten Hag also, with previous quotes we read out on the channel last couple of days. He's not playing for Fiorentina at the moment. He's not been called up for the next game, which is a big indicator of what's going on. They're protecting their asset for a potential sale, and his head's not in the right place, so they want to get rid. We're expected to open up a formal bid very, very soon for him. So that's the situation. Once one of these players or both of these players have been sold, we don't want to get stuck with too many midfielders if we just go out right now and sign Sofyan Amrabat. We're trying to move on Donny van der Beek and we're trying to move Fred on. Once those players, probably just one of those players is gone, that's freed up the wages off the books for Sofyan, and it's given us some transfer kitty, and it's got rid of a player from the midfield. So that's what the situation there is. We're just waiting for Real Sociedad to complete a transfer for hopefully for Donny van der Beek, and then for Fred to move on as well, maybe to Saudi Arabia or Fulham or wherever is interested in him still. There's a few different clubs interested in Fred. So we're waiting for that to finish. And once that's finished, that's when you'll see Manchester United pull the trigger on the Sofyan Amrabat transfer. And when that happens, it should happen reasonably quickly, because already Fiorentina are not playing this guy. They're already resigned to the fact that they're going to lose him soon to Manchester United. It's understood about 30 to 35 million euros is the figure that we'll get him over the line for, which is a very cheap price if we can do that. Obviously, we still have to negotiate with them. I expect Fiorentina will try and ask for a bit more cash, obviously, because why wouldn't you? But fundamentally, we'll probably end up getting him for 35 million euros, and that's including the add-ons, which is a tremendous piece of business for Manchester United. So, as called by Fab there, just selling Donny, just waiting to sell Donny and Fred, and then we're going to go in for him. But he wants Manchester United, and we want him. He's also had reported interest from teams over in Saudi Arabia. They've offered him big money, but apparently he's turned them down. He wants Manchester United, he wants the Premier League action, and he wants Champions League football. And he wants to play for Ten Hag. So it's another one of those situations where it's all looking good. We can't say definitively right now that he's going to be a Manchester United player, but all signs are pointing to Sofyan Amrabat signing for Manchester United by the end of the window. Get in there, my son. So that's the Sofyan Amrabat news. Before I get onto the Kane stuff very quickly, let's read these two legends' highlighted comments out. Billy, thank you for being a legend and being a member of this channel for 34 months. Hashtag 34, Billy. Thank you so much, Billy. That's a long time. Nearly 3 years, pal. That's very nice, dude. He says, Maguire hates the Ginger Goblin Moyes. Pass it on. Well, fair enough. I mean, he's not the most likeable of fellows, but I don't know about that, Billy. I'm not so sure about that. But thank you very much for getting your highlight comment in there, being a member for 3 years nearly. That's much appreciated, lad. Hope you're good today as well, Mr. Billy, lad. Get in there, you don. And he might do. Who knows? He might do. Jim Watkins has got his highlighted comment in, and he's been a member for 6 months. 6 months for Jim Watkins there. Thank you, bro. Getting in here from Australia all the time. Appreciate you. He says that happy days if we get Sofyan Amrabat, get rid of Maguire and McTominay, a triple strike. So true, isn't it, Jim? Even if we just did that business this summer, it takes our transfer dealings up to like an 8 out of 10. Okay, it's not as good as getting somebody like Harry Kane in and having that true ambition. But imagine a window where we get rid of quite a lot of the gash players. You see players like Donny and Fred and Maguire and McTominay all go. And you see us sign Sofyan Amrabat, Mason Mount, Andre Onana and Rasmus Hojlund. I'd give it an 8 out of 10. What do you guys give that window? So if the window looks like that, all of those guys gone that we've just mentioned, and those 4 or 5 players signed, and Johnny Evans as well, those players signed at Manchester United, what rating would you give it if it finished as that? I would give it an 8 out of 10, to be fair. I think it'd be a bloody good window. A lot of that is based on getting rid of the shite as well as signing good players. Thank you, Jim Watkins. Appreciate that. Triple strike. Love it. Also, we've got a couple of more highlighted member comments getting in here. We've got Andy Bell, who's been a member for 5 months. Hashtag 5 for Andy. He says, this could be a great transfer window, Pig. Definitely could be if we can sign the players that we're talking about. All of those players, Sofyan, Rasmus, and of course the players we've already signed. That would be tremendous, wouldn't it, Andy Bell? Just to bring those players in and get mostly what we need and get Ten Hag's players, Ten Hag style players that he wants for his system, systematic players. And then also to get rid of the gash that we've talked about, get rid of some of the rough players like Maguire and McTominay and these guys that have been stinking up the gaff for several seasons now. It would be a tremendous business in this transfer window. So I agree, Andy Bell. This has the potential to be a very good transfer window, lad, 100%. Neil Prajapati, I'm good, mate. How are you doing? Thanks for asking. Araya Daniela, thank you so much for being a member for a month, bro. He's got his comment in and says, Maguire is off to Corfu United FC. That's about the right fit for him, lad. Corfu United, bloody hell. Is that via the way of Mykonos prison jail cell or something? Araya Daniela, thank you so much for getting in here. Eferisto for the banter. Get in, thank you so much. Andy Bell's gifted out a membership on the channel. Thank you so much, Andy Bell. Let's be having you, dude. He's gifted out a membership. That's very kind of you, dude. I love that. Thank you so much. Guys, Andy, everyone, gifting out a membership. Very kind of you. Thank you so much for the support. Thanks for the tip. And thanks for making DJ Superfly a member. DJ Superfly, you can thank Andy Bell there. He's just made you a member, lad. Get in there, my son. Andy Bell, that's very kind of you. I really do appreciate that. Thank you so much, Andy. Hey, guys, we're only 4 subscribers from the next milestone, 72,800. Keep smashing that like button and keep smashing that subscribe button and help us get there. We might do it during this show if you legends who are new hit the subscribe. We've also got a super chat here from Liam Vernon. Liam Vernon, hello. He says, hi, Manchester is red. You're damn right, Liam Vernon, it is. Thank you so much for that super chat, bud. You're damn right it is. People saying it's blue. Mate, it's not even tinged blue, really. They would have to go on and win the Premier League for the next 10 years for it to even become blue. And they've only won 1 Champions League. So, you know, they are obviously right now, I hate to say this, but they're the best team currently there. It would be stupid to say anything other than that. They've just won the pig in treble. But in terms of the club, in terms of Manchester's history, is Manchester United red or is it blue? It's fucking red, mate. They would have to go on and win things for many years for that to change. It's red, it always has been red, and it will continue to be red for a long, long time, unless we don't win anything for a long time and they keep winning, which could happen. But also what could happen is they get punished and they actually get rescinded titles and things like that, and then it literally goes back to being red again. You're completely right, Liam Vernon. It's red, mate. 100%, man. Thank you so much, bud. I appreciate you getting there, you beautiful man. Right then, guys. So that's pretty much it. Oh, yes, the So Sofyan Amrabat on the horizon, guys. Get in there. Very quickly, let's talk about Kane. So there is a deadline apparently today for Kane and Bayern to decide what's going on, but who knows if that's generally the case. But this is from Jason Burt from The Telegraph via Fabrizio Romano, who says that Harry Kane deadline day. Sources close to the negotiation expect the final decision today for the Kane deal. It's described as in or out with FC Bayern. All parties are waiting for Daniel Levy to communicate his decision today as first called. So it's understood that the bid from Bayern is somewhere in the region of about 95 million euros, aka 85 million pounds. There could be a few give or take there based on add-ons and things, but that sort of cash. United, very unlikely to go in for him before the end of the window, but we might, I suppose, if we can sell a lot of our gash players, which might happen, but it's still unlikely. So it could be the Kane day for Bayern München. Looks like they are obviously really, really progressing on this transfer. It's just whether or not Daniel Levy is prepared to play ball. You know how Daniel Levy works, though. He might just take a long time and make Bayern sweat and try and hope that they increase their transfer offer between now and the end of the transfer window. So it's not guaranteed, but apparently there's a deadline day today where Bayern want the decision at least today. So interesting there. We'll obviously give you the updates later on in tonight's show when that may happen. And they are looking at another striker at the moment, an Argentinian lad from Rosario. So there's every possibility that this will come to fruition soon. But as I say, Manchester United still have an outside chance of going in for him. Right now, we may have just left Spurs without any communication this summer because we are just waiting for them to get the negotiations done with Bayern and then we strike. But it is very unlikely that we're going in for him at all. But let's just hope, and I still hold out some hope that we might be able to sell players and have the bottle to go and get exactly who we need, which is Harry Kane, to give us the ambition to really challenge for the title. If we had Kane and Rasmus Hojlund up top as our striking options this season, I would feel very, very happy with that. And we still might be able to sell one or two gash bags like Tony Martial maybe to Saudi and all the other players we've mentioned to justify it. But it's still ridiculously unlikely. I give it like a 7% chance that Man United actually do go in for Kane. But it's still slightly possible. But right now, looks like Bayern Munich is destined to sign him. But Spurs may be too difficult to deal with, so it could fall down. Plus, as I've said before, like with Harry Maguire and Scott McTominay, it depends on what they want. West Ham can't just get him. They can't get those players unless Maguire decides that he wants to go to West Ham. He's got a contract at United. Kane does not have to go to the Bundesliga. It's known that Kane does want to go to play for Bayern Munich because they're a great club, but he doesn't have to. If his desire is to play in the Premier League and he's waiting for that offer from United, or he's prepared to wait for a year at Spurs and run down his contract and then go and join whoever he wants as a free agent, he may well do that. He's got the right to exercise that right. So he may well stay longer and make Spurs sweat, which puts pressure on them to sell to a rival in the Premier League. Or he might stay for a year and go on a free and get more money. Like the contract that Kane would be offered in a year's time is worth more to him financially than what he can get at Bayern Munich at the moment. Bayern Munich aren't going to pay him a huge amount of cash. They might pay him a few £100,000 a week, but they're not going to pay him 400 or 500k. Whereas in a year's time, if he was prepared to wait, he could get 500 grand a week going somewhere because a team doesn't have to pay 100 million up front transfer fee to sign him. They can actually just get him on a free transfer, which means that he can get a fat signing on bonus and a huge contract. So it does depend on what Kane wants as well. People forget that. Kane's in the driving seat here, really. If he decides he wants Premier League football, that's down to Kane. So Daniel Levy and Spurs have a big say in this, but it fundamentally does fall down with Harry Kane as well. So that's the latest transfer news. Also, Forest are trying to work on a new goalkeeper. It's understood that Dean Henderson probably isn't a major target for them anymore because they've submitted an official bid for Matt Turner. Right, there you go, guys. That is the latest news and information. That is the latest updates, guys. I'm going to get into the live chat now for a big Q&A with you legends. Thanks everyone who's in here, over 300 legends. Before I do, I'm going to go shout out all the retweeters. So thank you everyone for retweeting the show. Do continue to smash the retweets. That spreads the word of the channel. I'll go over there and shout you all out. Thanks so much everyone who's done that, by the way. And we'll get into the chat in a minute. We've had 12 retweets. Thank you everyone for retweeting the show there. 13 actually, my bad. Go over to Twitter. It's pinned to the top of the chat and give us a retweet. Guyam Legend, thank you for quote retweeting us there, bro. And thank you to the 12 retweeters. Boomy, Stephen Braun, Emmanuel Kiprotich, Feline Fur, CZ Bam, Mark, Lee Hope, Vincent Bullock, John Boy Cat, get in there my son, Imri Man United, Berserker, ADV, Billy, And also, one more retweet's just come in now. Thank you so much, each and every one of you legends, for doing that. It does help the channel out. And also, I don't know, actually, it's not loading. Oh, yeah, wait a second. Don't know, I'll let you know in a minute. But thank you, everyone who's retweeted us. I really do appreciate that. It literally helps us out. And you can follow us on places like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, all the same at Flying Pig United. Links are in the description. It's Burble, a.k.a. Ryan, a.k.a. The Gaming Sim. Thank you so much, guys. Every one of you for retweeting that show. It really does help us out. And also Daniela Araya has just given us a retweet. Thank you so much, guys. Right, let's get into the live chat for a Q&A. Thanks, everyone, for waiting patiently for me to stop rambling so much here. I do appreciate you hanging out. But that's the latest transfer news. We will, of course, be back on at 10 p.m. with another show to cover all the evening's news. And if there's anything that breaks in between now and then, we can also jump on, middle of the evening and see what's going on. If there's anything big and breaking news Man United related. But if not, definite 10 p.m. show tonight. Right, let's get into the Q&A. I'll just hide that so we can see the live chat as well. Get your thoughts and opinions in about anything we've discussed. Amrabat, Kane, Maguire, McTominay, etc. Get your thoughts and opinions in. Now's the time. Kane could even link back up with Poch on a free. Yeah, that's true, actually, Mikhail. But I kind of doubt that he's prepared to go to a London rival because of that legacy that he's got as Spurs. That's the only thing there. Big up, Araya Daniela. Thanks for the retweet, bro. Stephanie Griffith says we got 266 likes. Get in there. Let's see if we can get 300 by the end of the show. And we're 3 subscribers away, guys, from 72.8. Lovely stuff. Liam says, is Greenwood coming back? Don't know at this moment. Man United are expected to announce a decision very soon. So sometime before the season starts, we should know what's going on. Thank you, Andy Bell. I appreciate that so much. Thanks. Thank you, Araya, for retweeting us, lad. See you all tonight. Thank you, Paul Ennis. Getting there, you legend. I appreciate that. He'll never sign for a London club, says Superstar. Absolutely. Definitely, mate. Get in there. FIFA Don, how you doing? Says, what's good, Piggy, mate? Just chilling there, my son. Hope you're good as well. The only thing that breaks is Harry's heart, Pig. It's melting in the fridge. Are you sure it's melting in the fridge? Because he is the fridge. Oh, I see what you mean. Piggy, where should we play if Old Trafford needs renovations and we need to find a temporary home? Right, Boomy. So let's face it, if we actually do have the ambition to improve our stadium, we are probably going to have to go and play somewhere else for a little bit. There's 2 real candidates, in my opinion. Okay, you want to look at somewhere where it's not a Premier League. So I think Blackburn would actually make a bit of sense. Blackburn Rovers Stadium, because it's not that far away and it's reasonable size, and they might be able to do some sort of deal with us. Or also, if you're going to really do something interesting, why not go down to Wembley for a little while? Wembley Stadium, it's unoccupied. Now, I know what people will say. That's nowhere near Manchester. How can you expect the travelling season ticket holders and fans to go down to Wembley all the bloody time? But Wembley would actually generate huge cash as well for the club in that time, because all of the Southern United fans, and trust me, there's a lot of us, would have somewhere to go that's a lot closer. Wembley Stadium is such a nice stadium, such a huge stadium, big stadium. It would actually be awesome, wouldn't it? I personally think it would kind of make sense just for a year or so. I'm not saying long term, because it's wrong. How could you possibly have Manchester United playing in London for any longer than a temporary setup? But I honestly do believe it would actually make a bit of sense to maybe play at Wembley for a little while, because it's such a big stadium. Think about how many fans United fill out Old Trafford with every single week. 70-odd thousand. Wembley Stadium has an even bigger capacity, so it does make sense. They would fill it out as well. Man United would be one of the only teams in the league that could actually fill it out. Imagine a team going hundreds of miles down south and still being able to fill it out in home games and away games. It would actually be mental. Well, not away games, but you know what I mean. It would be like an away game every time for Manchester United. So we'd be filling it out though. Wembley's a great stadium. Yeah, it would be pretty awesome, but there's something not right about it. It's not right for United to be playing in London. But we can't play in City Stadium. You know what I mean? That'd be even worse. We're not giving those shithouses some sort of ticket sale percentage or any bollocks like that. We could fill the Etihad and give City an attendance record. Well, that's true, bud. We absolutely could. But I don't... could you imagine that? It'd be fucking horrible. We fill out the stadiums in the US, so Wembley, no problem. I agree. And I do think it would be good for, I think it'd be good for the Southern United fans as well to go for a little while. Because, for instance, for me... in Dorset, to go to Old Trafford, it's an undertaking. It's a 6-hour drive each way, and it's like it costs a lot, and you have to get a hotel, because who wants to drive 6 hours and 6 hours back in the same day? It's a fat mission. Wembley, on the other hand, couple hours away. So it makes a bit of sense for all of those people who are big, passionate United fans down south, which there is a lot of us. People will say, oh, you can't be a proper United fan if you're not from Manchester. Well, I think that's bollocks when you're talking about a proper, huge global football club like United. I mean, look at, Berber's just said it, look at those USA fans and how passionate they are. And they live in a different bloody country. And they're going to pay their hard-earned money to support the club with all their kits on and stuff from many years ago. You know, everybody's got an affinity with this football club for whatever reason from around the globe. Get in there, 079 for you, legend. Thank you, Jonathan. Says, cheers, big. Good show, mate. Thank you very much, lad. Appreciate you. Marcus Leonardo from Santos. Yeah, there you go. Exactly, Paul Ennis. Watch some clips of him. And he's apparently a player that we are linked with. Harry at Blackburn, says Robin. I will be bringing FIFA streams back very soon, actually. Even this season, Billy. I'm going to be bringing them back soon, mate. 100%. Definitely. You would have loved it, guys. In the UK, had a stadium like Melbourne's MCG, the greatest stadium in the world for me, holds 100,000 fans, says Jim Watkins. That's pretty awesome. Wembley, says United 90. Yep. You think United should stay in Manchester home stadium-wise? Well, definitely long-term, but I mean, you know, it's hard to really say. Yeah. Manchester United plays in Manchester, surely you'll change the name. Well, no, Robin, I'm talking about temporarily. I'm not talking about... Let's just reiterate the fact that this would be while Manchester United is either rebuilding or refurbishing their stadium. So Old Trafford is obviously United's home, and Manchester is United's home. We can't change that. But I'm saying if there's building works being done at Old Trafford, say, then surely Manchester United may have to play somewhere else. Maybe it should be somewhere geographically close to Manchester, but Wembley Stadium makes sense as well because it's a big stadium that could fit a lot of supporters in. Thank you, Marek Stachowski. I appreciate that, dude. Andy says, Pig, when are you rebranding the look from Twitter to X? Oh, goodness, I'm not doing that. Thank you, Vincent says, retweet, Pig, and comment. Yes, indeed, do give us a cheeky retweet. Appreciate that. That's like said, not allowed to eat tomatoes if you're not Italian. Exactly, Primot. Yeah, it's just crazy, isn't it? Good God, it's temporary, folks. Exactly, Manhouse. It'd just be a temporary move. I think you're right, Burbo. We did play at Main Road back in the day when Old Trafford got bombed. Yeah, back in the Dizzy. You're absolutely right. Was that during like World War One or some shit? I don't know. World War Two? I don't actually know. But you're right, they did. I'm pretty sure they did do a ground share with City at Main Road for a while, lad. 276 likes. That's amazing, Stephanie Griffith. Thank you so much, everyone, for smashing that like button on it. That's brilliant stuff. So I'm going to read a bunch more of your comments out, guys. A few more comments. Get your thoughts and opinions in. We may have to use City Stadium. That would just be outright disgusting and wrong, though. I'd rather go and play at the Reebok at Bolton Wanderers Stadium. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's some clubs that are... Well, who's got the biggest stadiums close by? Blackburn, Bolton. Now, I'd rather play somewhere else with a lesser capacity. Fuck City. We're not playing at the Etihad. Fuck that. That's just wrong. I'm sorry to say. That's disgusting. Exactly. United Knights says, no way play at the Etihad. Never, Pig. I agree with you. It's disgusting. We can't do that. I'd rather play at Bolton. I think it's about 27,000 or 30,000, Paul Ennis, Bolton Stadium. It's got to be around about that. Yeah, I think that's just bollocks, Atakiro Charles Mark, that report personally. I believe that is bollocks about the medical. But there are some reports suggesting that there's long-distance medicals taking place for Maguire and McTominay. I find that bollocks. Wembley Stadium perfect, says Araya Daniela. Love you from Uganda. Thank you, Atakiro. Crazy Joe, get out. True Pig, the Bernabeu. Yeah, let's just get on a plane to Spain every single week. Gig Lane, Bury. Okay then, Mikhail Kramer. I don't think that's rather large, though. Interesting. Yeah, can't be a player to Lee Sports Village, says Vincent Bullock. You what? You War to World War II replied that Main Road, but Main Road used to be our stadium before Old Trafford, says Vincent Bullock. You what? Interesting, lad. Is it Old Trafford outside of Manchester, says Crazy Joe Devola? Oh, okay. If it was Liverpool, I'd want them to play at Wembley too, says Robin Hood. Oh, fair enough. Never play at your arch rival stadium. I agree, it's wrong on many levels, bro. It's small, says Mikhail. Got to be a rugby league stadium we could use. That's an interesting point as well, TK. Anywhere but the Etihad, lad. Anywhere but the Etihad. Definitely. Would you watch a game at the Etihad, says Jonathan Gallagher? It's quite likely, though. I know we're saying no, never anywhere but there. You'd rather play at Blackpool, says Paul Ennis. Yeah, but it's kind of likely. It's the one that makes the most geographical sense and maybe even the most financial sense for Manchester United would be to play at the Etihad. Plus, The Etihad Stadium, isn't it like, I don't know, isn't it like some sort of... Would you directly have to pay money to City? That's the problem. Or would it be like the council that you pay money to? I don't really know. But would you have to pay money to City and give them a percentage? If that's the case, outright no. We can't finance City in any way. That would be a disgrace, which surely you would have to give something to those guys. Plus, wouldn't that actually be harder to orchestrate? Because United's fixtures that season would all have to be at different times to City's fixtures on different days. That's very unlikely. It'd be more likely to go and play for, say, a championship side stadium where they're playing at different times and in different days most of the time. So it's less logistically a nightmare. So like Reebok Stadium or something. It would probably make more sense. G-Wolf United. Oh, what's going on, lad? Welcome in the stream, mate. Good afternoon. Hope you're good. Yeah, that's true. They do share a stadium, don't they? Inter and AC. That's just crazy, mate. That's absolutely nuts. Oddball thought, what if United took its home games on a tour around the whole country, play all over the place? Well, that is actually really interesting, Boomhauer. Pretty good idea. We're the only club in the world that could do that, really, because we've got such support up and down the country. Yeah, Andy Corkin Hansen, please do watch the stream back, lad. But yes, looks quite likely that West Ham are going to come in for both players, Scott McTominay and Harry Maguire. I don't think so, actually, Ravens Man Sand. Villa Park's not a bad shout. You cannot play at City, says Robin. Funny if we borrow the Etihad and won the league there. That would be hilarious. And we'd actually fill it out, like you say. Make it a proper stadium for a change. You'd rather play at Bolton than crappy Had. Me too. Whole season away from home. It would be hard, yeah. I think Wembley makes the most sense as well, actually, Bristolian Mackham. I genuinely believe that would be the best place for us to go. Oh, sorry to hear that, Wolfster. I hope you feel better soon, lad. You've only just got up at 3:36. Respect. Or the cricket ground. Yeah, the Old Trafford cricket ground. I suppose you could do some alterations and maybe... What's the capacity there? I mean, I don't know. It's only down the road, but... I don't know, actually. That's quite interesting, Bristolian Mackham. I guess maybe that's a possibility. Nah, no worries, Andy Corkin. Could play at Derby County, says Gregory Burke. Greenwood should never pull our iconic shirt again. Well, I'm with you, Alan Carter, really. Wembley would be for best for temporary. I'm with you, Batman Knight fan, as well. Absolutely. Absolutely. By the way, guys, we're going to wrap this stream up in a minute, but put an exclamation mark extra in the live chat. XTRA, exclamation mark extra. I am going to do a preseason prediction, absolutely, Ravens lad. I will be doing that. Definitely, definitely. Yeah, I will do that. They haven't offered anything yet, Maria Steer. It's just understood that they will be going in for a double offer very soon, hopefully from Scott McTominay and Maguire. Lots of different outlets reporting. Please watch back the first 15-20 minutes of the stream once we've finished, and all shall be revealed. All shall be revealed. But there it is, guys. There is the extras channel. So Jams the Highlights is running that now. There's a bunch of different clips and stuff being put on there, so please do check out that channel. Go over and subscribe to it. It's called Flying Pig United Extra with an XTRA. That's how it's spelled for some reason. So go over there, subscribe to that channel, guys, at the end of this show. And there will be an FPL league as well, Pinhead. I'll get that set up very soon. Nice one, Maria. But yeah, guys, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. We are going to wrap this up because we've been on here for 1 hour and 42 minutes, which is just too long, isn't it? But make sure you do, at the end of this stream, go and subscribe to the Extra Clips channel there. It's pinned to the top of the live chat. It's called Flying Pig United Extra. That's it from me, basically. We've got 2 subscribers to go to 72.8k subs. Hit the subscribe button if you're new, guys, before the end of the show. Also, smash the like on this video before the end of the show. Thank you, Burbus. Great show. Hey there, Merrick Galore. We're just wrapping it up, mate, but good to see you, lad. Come back after, have your say, watch the stream back, get your thoughts and opinions in, guys. Thank you, Gungshi. Says great stream. Thank you, Gungshi. Great stream. Hopefully we, can expect a bid soon from West Ham for Harry Maguire and Scott McTominay in a double swoop. That would really be a great turn up for the books. United also working on Donny and Fred transfers away from the football club at this moment. And once those two are in the pipeline to be sold, we're expected that we will be going to buy Sofyan Amrabat, guys. So get in there. It's all going off. Thanks for watching. Great show. Great chat with all the legends. I really do appreciate you. Thank you, Yusuf Ide there, for subscribing to the channel, mate. Get in there. Nick S, Chris Barker, Primot, Makeu, Madhouse, all the moderators, all the members of the channel. Thanks for supporting the show, guys. Appreciate you, legends. Absolute heroes. That's it from me, though. We'll be back later on tonight around about 10 p.m. If there is any big breaking news, of course, we'll jump on. Nice one, Araya. Thank you for subscribing to the Extras channel. If there's any big breaking news later on, we'll jump on as and when it happens. But if not, we'll be on at 10 p.m. as always, with the latest United news for the evening show. So come and join us then, guys, 10 p.m. UK time. Make sure you click the subscribe button if you're new. Click the bell icon for notifications so you don't miss the streams. And also, as I say, go over and check out the Extras channel, Flying Pig United Extra, which I've pinned to the top of the chat. Get in there, you legends. Thanks, everyone, for watching. What a community of heroes. I appreciate you all. Thank you, legends. Take care, Bacon Brigade Bambinos. No FIFA today, Boomy. We'll be bringing that back soon enough. That's it from me, guys. Come back after and have your say. We did it, guys. 72.8k subs. So get in there, you fucking legends. Come on. The Bacon Brigade grows stronger. Thank you so much, guys. That's awesome. We did it, baby. See you tonight for the show at 10 p.m, guys. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Kick at Flying Pig United. Check out the website, flyingpigunited.com. Cheers, everyone, for tuning in. Have a great day. Have a great evening. And I'll see you tonight, guys, for the show. Catch you at 10 o'clock. Much love. Piggy loves you. And remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, as this is because they sing, sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much.